Hello, friends. Welcome back to Trevor's Ghost Journal, Volume 1, The Search for Headless Bird, Entry 6. Questions, questions, questions. Let's distill our questions down. Let's start with all of the questions that we think we have, and let's see what we can distill that down to. What questions do we want to ask? Is the reason for the historical vagaries in the story due to it being a cultural touchstone? Sort of like around here we had snowpocalypse. Not many people remember the year. In fact, I didn't remember the year up until a friend told me, 2010. Or how 2020 will always be remembered as the year of the plague, even though it started 2019 sometime, and, it's still going on, and it's 2022. Is it possible that for this community, this exceptionally strange event was a way of marking a moment in time? Things that happened before Bert lost his head, things that happened after Bert lost his head. There may not be much of a historical record that I'm going to be able to find. At least, I don't expect so. It's not going to stop me from looking, but I don't expect to find much. Next, let's ask questions about the story itself. What are the elements in this story, the sort of ethical statements? From what I can gather, he's cheap, he disrespects the dead, he overindulges in alcohol, and it's possible that walking the tracks was something that was not considered, if not ethical, smart. Something that was considered stupid to do. Maybe you could consider it as a disregard for danger. Do these elements point to a moral code? I feel like they sort of do, but I don't want to answer that question until we can examine the relationship that the locals have with the story, until we can get some more original perspective. And that sort of leads us to our last question. What's our relationship with this story? What morals do we take away? What do we feel is the importance of this story? I've compiled a short list of questions that I would like to ask the locals, the residents of the communities in and around where the story happens, as much as I'll have an opportunity to. This upcoming trip that I've been getting prepared for is to visit a friend first and foremost. This ghost hunting is just sort of a side gig. I've tried to boil this down to 3 questions. Distill it down to 3 important questions. One is, what is the objective moral of the story, if such a thing can be found? What is the contemporary relationship of the locals to the story? And then finally, what is our relationship with the story? And the questions to ask the locals, I feel like, are, what are the top 3 social values that they would say that personifies a North Yorkshire person? And then, of course, do they know the story of Headless Bert? And if they don't, tell them the story. And if they do, what is their specific moral takeaway? What do they think that story's trying to say? So these are the questions that I've tried to distill this down to. 3 general, 3 local, and I don't expect to get answers that point in a direction. I believe, my hypothesis is that any moral I seem to find in the story will have more to do with my own perspective than it has to do with the time the story was told, the place the story took place, or the culture in which it was conceived. So all of that being said, I'm just about ready. I've got my gear, all of my kit compiled, and I'm shortly going to be packing it away in suitcases and getting ready to travel. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing North Yorkshire, Scarborough, Whitby, hopefully Robin Hood's Bay, and maybe even a little bit of time in and around York. Well, thank you for sticking with me through this, friends. Hopefully I will have an entry to wrap everything up soon. Thank you, and have a good evening.